$100 million stealth jet is rolling to a stop on a Middle Eastern airbase. The pilot is alive. The plane is down. And nobody's saying why. That's where we are right now. Here's what CENTCOM has confirmed. A US F-35 aircraft flew a combat mission over Iran on Thursday. Somewhere over Iranian territory, something went wrong. The jet declared an emergency and diverted to a regional U.S. airbase in the Middle East. Captain Tim Hawkins, the CENTCOM spokesman, confirmed the aircraft landed safely and the pilot is in stable condition. An investigation is underway. That's the full extent of the official statement. Now here's what the official statement doesn't cover. CNN cited two anonymous sources saying the aircraft was likely hit by Iran. Think about what that means for a second. The F-35 isn't just expensive. It's built around a single core promise, that no enemy radar system would ever be able to find it well enough to shoot at it. The airframe is shaped to scatter radar returns in every direction except back toward the transmitter. Its surface coatings absorb radar energy rather than reflecting it. It flies through contested airspace the way a person walks through a crowded room without anyone noticing. The whole point is that the conversation about getting hit doesn't happen. If Iran hit one, that promise just took damage. The IRGC didn't wait for the US to get its story straight. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps released a statement saying it targeted a US aircraft. The US hasn't confirmed that version of events, but two sources telling CNN the plane was likely struck, and the IRGC saying it targeted a US aircraft, those two statements are pointing in the same direction. This is the first time in the history of F-35 combat operations that we're even having this conversation. The jet has flown in combat since 2018. 8 years of operations across multiple theaters, multiple adversaries. Not a single confirmed case of one being struck by enemy fire. Until now, potentially. This doesn't land in a vacuum. The losses have been building since February 28. The US has reportedly lost approximately 12 MQ-9 Reaper drones since fighting began. 5 KC-135 refueling aircraft were damaged in an Iranian missile strike at a base in Saudi Arabia, though that hasn't been independently verified. On March 1, 3 F-15E Strike Eagles were shot down in a friendly fire incident involving a Kuwaiti F-18. All 6 crew members ejected safely and were recovered. At least 13 U.S. service members have been killed in combat operations against Iran. Roughly 200 others have been wounded. On the Iranian side, local health authorities report at least 1,444 people killed and 18,551 injured since the conflict started. Despite the losses, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stood in front of reporters Thursday and said the objectives haven't shifted. The U.S. has now struck over 7,000 targets inside Iran. More than 40 Iranian mine-laying vessels destroyed. 11 submarines taken out. The goals remain what they were on day one. Destroy Iran's missile launchers, degrade its defense industrial base and navy, and prevent Tehran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. No time frame. No off-ramp announced. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said the U.S. is striking deeper into Iranian territory every day and the military remains on track. But Kane said something that cuts through the confidence of everything else. He acknowledged Iran still has missile capabilities. His exact words: "They came into this fight with a lot of weapons." That's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He's not a man who chooses his words carelessly in front of cameras. He's telling you that after weeks of strikes against 7,000 targets, Iran can still put weapons in the air that threaten a stealth aircraft worth $100 million. President Trump, asked Thursday whether he planned to add more troops to the region, said he wasn't putting troops anywhere, and that if he were going to, he wouldn't be telling journalists. So here's the actual situation. An F-35 came back damaged, or didn't come back under its own power the way it was supposed to. The IRGC says it targeted a U.S. aircraft. CNN sources say the jet was likely hit. The U.S. says the investigation is open. Iran walked into this fight with a lot of weapons. Apparently, some of them are still working.